Pride means knowing that you're different and not giving a crap about what people think about that. Loving that you are different and just owning it.
Pride to me really was the people around me who uplifted me and gave me the courage to do everything that I'm doing now.
It's being proud of the people that were probably before you, that were the trailblazers.
Basically, for me, just means being honest and true to myself, as authentic as I can be.
Self-acceptance and self-love, and making sure that the entire world knows that you love yourself and accept yourself.
Be with others in the same space and know that you are all welcome.
To me, Pride is in between a party and a riot. I feel like it's good to celebrate ourselves, but also to like fight for what we need to fight for.
Pride means resilience, being strong, being resistant.
It just means really coming together, banding as one. We're all in the same fight. Being truthful to who you are and finding confidence in who you are and accepting yourself.
Pride means not being afraid to just do you and do whoever you want to do.
I think I express myself through my humor. One of the things that I love about the LGBTQ community is that we have a wicked sense of humor. We have our own way of talking to each other. And when you meet someone, you instantly feel comfortable because you can talk to them the way you can't talk to anybody else.
I'm a professional singer, so I tour, and the music that I write is always both gender inclusive because I date both genders.
I express myself through art and through basically, whether it be drawing, makeup, anything, working on, tattooing brows, anything creative basically.
I'm a 3D modeler, and as a kid I used to daydream a lot, a lot of escapism to kind of imagine a better situation for myself because it wasn't really the best. And I kind of channeled that into what I do now for a living.
I really kind of found my sexuality in wanting to draw beautiful women. When I was younger, I didn't really understand what that actually meant.
Now when I do write stories or I create new characters, or I get the opportunity to have some influence over who or what is present in an art piece, I really do want more representation for LGBTQ.
I like bringing people together for big meals and really kind of reinforcing that sense of community between people. Big holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, if you have nowhere to go, it's my place you're coming to.
I would definitely say I'm a loud and boisterous person, and I would say that I'm definitely not the most subtle, and I kind of like for my clothing, my artwork, my everything to match who I feel like I am inside.
Well, I'm a lesbian and we like to stay home and we don't leave our homes, so that's how I express myself.
So wrong. Okay, so hey, welcome to Rooster Teeth's Pride Stream. It's the Pride Cast.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again. I am Kaden Jensen, and
I'm Giselle Grayson. I'm lead designer for marketing, and I'm your favorite bombshell bisexual.
I'm Samantha DeVito. I'm a live action post-production intern, and hi.
Hey, oh, camera. Okay, I'm Sarah Duell, live action editor. Obviously kind of camera shy, but I'm glad to be here.
Same, I'm Dom Sardino. I'm on the engineering team, so I made the website. If you're watching it on Rooster Teeth, the live page, I made that page and the schedule. So welcome.
Over your shoulder.
If the light's not red, why isn't the light red? That's what I'm used to. Hey, what's up? It's me. Your friendly neighborhood Mariel. I'm here. I'm in the same spot. How's it going? What are you up to these days? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm just kidding.
so it's Pride Month.
It is.
How is everybody
Pride
feeling?
Month.
Yeah, proud.
Good.
Yeah. What have you guys been doing to celebrate Pride Month so far?
Queer Bomb.
Queer Bomb.
It was my first time.
Queer Bomb. Do you guys know what Queer Bomb is?
No.
Queer Bomb is, it's kind of like the anti-Pride Pride.
Yeah.
It's like
anti-corporate pride. It's basically kind of taking back this event and making it as queer as possible and very non-corporate, so people march in the streets. There's a party at this place in Austin called Fair Market, and it's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
I love Queer Bomb. I didn't get to go this year because I was at an event, but Queer Bomb is amazing.
I also did Motor City Pride last weekend in Detroit. And
wow.
loved there. I hadn't seen it before. It was just like tons and tons of moms and dads wearing like free mom hug shirts.
Dude, I love
mom
that.
shirts, and you could just go and get a hug.
That sounds amazing.
Did you get any mom hugs?
I got a few, yeah, it was great.
Did you count them?
I didn't count them, no.
Next year, we'll take a little ticker.
Okay, yes.
Like 1 hug, 2 hugs.
Or get beads and give them to each mom. Make that.
We're changing it up now, but yeah, it was heartwarming.
Yeah.
Especially because my parents aren't in my life anymore. Because after coming out, it's like I felt like I really needed that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mom hugs are great. Whether it's your own mom, someone else's mom.
Yeah.
That's been like every RTX for me is after coming out is basically everybody coming up to me from the community is like, can I have a hug? And it's just like,
Oh, you've become mom.
I've become mom over the years. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm here for you. I'm here to. Every RTX, I start off, I'm just like, I'm ready, I'm energized, I'm full of like all this. I end up crying every year.
Oh yeah.
It's just tears every time. Everybody comes to me with stories. Everybody tells me about like, hey, thank you for being you. It's like, no, I didn't do anything. This is all you. It's like everybody here like had their start. And it's like there's always that, it's like there's somebody or something or some event that like kicks off like coming out. And last year's Pride for us was pretty much talking about like, hey, coming out is difficult. It's not easy. It's still not easy. It's never easy. Looking right there, it's never going to be easy, but that's okay.
Who are you looking?
And I mean,
you're looking at the camera.
Yeah. No, I'm looking
like
right at
calling
the
someone
pizza.
out.
If we could get pizza cam, that'd be fantastic. But it's more about this year's more about going forward. What we learned after coming out ourselves and talking about those instances where, you know what, we could have used some better advice, and we can now be that better advice for all of them. So what is something that you would have told yourself a year after coming out that would have probably made life way easier for you?
Oh, wow.
That's tough.
Let's see. I was 19 when I came out. Well, it depends on the timing, right? I came out to my parents when I was 19. And the most recent time I came out was probably like yesterday, because it never really ends.
It's true.
But gosh, in terms of advice, I mean, I think the way I came out to my parents wasn't exactly the way I intended to. They pretty much found out on accident. I was in a long distance relationship, and my significant other and I had broken up, and I was back home for the visiting my family for the summer, and was like just so brokenhearted and like laying in bed crying every day. My mom had no idea what was going on. Finally, I had told her, I was like, got my heart broken, I'm not gonna give you any details, that's it. So of course, being a very caring mom and wanting to know what was going on, she kind of was like, I'm gonna go through your college stuff, see what I find. And found some letters from my ex, and it wasn't the best coming out situation. Obviously luckily our relationship has mostly mended since then, but I don't know, a year after coming out, probably it's cliche to say, but like things got better. They weren't as like disastrous as it felt that day, for sure, So what about everyone?
Anyone else?
Yep.
It's John!
Pop in and pop out.
Where's the applause?
Who are you?
Where's the applause for John?
Hi, John.
Hi.
Thank you.
I like your story. It's a good story.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
John, you're kind of big last year at RTX.
Well, I came out at RTX last year, and then a fun fact came out to my parents this last year.
Wow.
Wasn't really my choice. I don't want to go into the details of that, but I was kind of forced to come out. But the good news is that it went better than I could have expected, but I think it's because my parents got to the point where it was good. And my conversation even with my father was one where like he actually admitted, he's like, at one point I probably would have judged, shamed, or even condemned you, but he said he was done condemning in his life, which is great. So he had grown, And so it was a good time. My mom was just flat out, I told her, you know, everything, and she's like, okay, you gonna ask me how I'm doing? No joke, Sid. That's where I get my dry humor from my mom. We have that repartee. It was fantastic. She knew that would make me feel good and diffuse the situation. I don't know if that's any advice, but that's how some outing stories can happen. And so, yay.
Proud of you, John.
There you go.
Good job,
Very
John.
Proud of you.
Cool. I can't stay, but I just want to say hi. And,
Is it because you hate me, John?
yes.
I told John this morning.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you did tell me that.
I walked into the office, and he was the first person I saw, and I looked at him, and I said, John, I had a dream about you last night. And I dreamt that Barbara came up to me in my dream, and she was just like, I need to tell you something. John hates you. He doesn't like you. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure it out, but I need you to know that he just doesn't like you. And then he was the first person I saw this morning, and I was just like, I heard you don't like me in my dreams.
The bis have always fought the lesbians.
That's true.
There's been a great
That's
war
true.
brewing.
That's true.
Is this where we meant? Is this where we make?
This is where the war begins.
Oh.
This is
You
where
wait.
it is.
I got my sword.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
got
see it.
Oh, that's
but
right.
it's
Hashtag
here.
more swords for lesbians.
What?
What?
Is that a thing? Can
Oh,
we get
yeah,
that
it's
trending?
absolutely.
All right.
100%.
Yeah, because they don't have enough swords.
We don't have
it's
enough
trending on
swords,
Twitter
no.
right now. Please make it trend on
How
Twitter
many is
right now.
enough swords?
No, the limit does not exist.
If the lesbians get swords, what do the bis get?
Yeah, what do we get?
Nothing.
Nunchucks.
I mean, there's two. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, okay. So we're just going to make up the Ninja Turtles. I like that. I'm
That's
good with that.
great.
Yep.
All right, cool. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
John.
Yeah.
Hand applause
Awesome.
again.
Woohoo.
That was John Reisinger, everybody. The man who hates me.
At least in your dreams, darling.
At least in my dreams.
So mine was actually kind of similar to, I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of stories of like, yeah, I accidentally came out to my parents because of. Mine was because I came out publicly at Rooster Teeth, and yeah, social media is kind of a bitch sometimes.
It is.
My dad happened upon my page, and there it was. And his way of telling me he knew, not necessarily that he accepted everything, that he knew, is he sent me a book about what it means to be transgender by someone who I'm not particularly fond of. I'm like, okay, so you know. And we just did not talk for 9 months. And it was tense. And that was actually fairly recently. It was in the last like 3 years. And I'm just like, if I could go back and talk to myself then, it's just like, it doesn't matter. You're gonna find way more happiness now, even though, you know, life starts now for you in a different respect, that this is the beginning of something new and you get to build everything all over again, which sounds difficult and arduous and sometimes even painful or painstaking, but having the ability to be yourself and reinvent yourself and find who you really are and find people who you truly accept who you are, I mean, that's worth it. It's 100% worth it 100% of the time.
For sure.
So, yeah, it's still very interesting. I didn't get to come out to her, but my grandmother now knows that I'm out as a trans woman, and that was a conversation because I had recently gone to the hospital and I had missed calling her for Mother's Day, and I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. It's like, sorry I missed it. It was in the, I had to go and get a bunch of different checkups, and it's like, sorry, happy belated Mother's Day. And it's like, well, why didn't you tell us? It's like, I mean, I went to the hospital. It just kind of happened. So it's like, well, I hope you haven't been dealing with this your entire life. It's like, we're having two completely different conversations. There's something else going on here. And it took me a couple sentences in to realize what was happening. I'm just like, I'm not emotionally prepared for this moment. And I've been out and fairly loud and proud about it for a long time, and it blindsided me. I had no idea what to do. And I'm just like, can I call you back? I will call her back eventually.
Okay.
But it's one of those things that it never, while it doesn't get easier in the coming out in certain situations, living absolutely gets way easier, especially when you find, you know, a community.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very happy to have you all here. I'd love to learn more about you guys.
Actually, like, I have a unique experience in that I didn't realize that I wasn't out. Like, I've just always been, I like women, I like men, like in high.
Since you were little?
Yeah, since I was little. I didn't like think it was a thing I needed to address necessarily. My family's very open. I grew up on tour, so like very like laid back atmosphere and environment to a degree. And so it just never dawned on me that that's something that's a conversation I need to have. Just went about life, and not until I was with the person I ended up getting engaged to did I realize, like, oh, like this might be like a conversation that needs to actually be had. Hi. Like, so it was kind of awkward, and I had already moved like really far away from home. So I ended up having like this conversation with my parents on like Facebook Messenger. Not the greatest, like not the most ideal like place to do that. My mom was kind of upset about the way I chose to do that, but it was the safest thing for me. And that's what mattered in that moment. Like, I was not ready to have like a phone call and like aware that things could potentially be not received well or heated. And I really didn't have too much of a reason to think that. It was just like there, that thought process.
Yeah, that's
like
kind
it,
of
like my family had never given me the feedback like that anything I did wouldn't be accepted. But there was just that like thing that you have that's like, ooh, I don't know how this is gonna go. My dad's a big cowboy, so I was like really concerned, like, whoo, it's like so Texas. And it was
cowboy boots, top hat,
not a top hat,
not a
like
top
a cowboy hat.
No, cowboy boots, top hat.
He's the only cowboy.
I'm gonna suggest it to him. Like that's what the look should be. Yeah, no, full on cowboy boots, cowboy hat every day. Raised out in the country, but yeah, it was like the most beautiful thing once they kind of sat with it for like a hot second. I think they thought about how are we going to address this with the family. I have a huge family, and my dad had the best response. It was so great. He was like, well, darling, if they have anything to say about it, they're going to have to come through me. And I was like, I've never felt like more like supported in such a genuinely unique way that is so my dad. And I never really worried about it after that within my family. Industry-wise, like the only time it ever presented itself to me was in music, because the labels I was working with did not want me to be out. Like it was, everyone's aware, like, oh, she has a girlfriend. And I was actually engaged when I had a label be like, yeah, no, we're not gonna be able to book you at certain venues if you don't like quiet it down. And I was like, I have a ring on, and like my now ex-wife is a like very public figure on my in social, so that's not a thing. Like this is not a thing. And dealing with it on that aspect as a professional, it forced me to set a lot of boundaries for what I was willing to accept and not accept, and who I was willing to work for and who I wasn't. And from that moment forward, conversations I had in every interview I did, whether that was music or design, always included like, what's your culture like? You know, how diverse is your company? And those are important conversations to have. And so I guess that would be the advice I would give myself now, is like, make time for the people that you love, to tell them in a way that is also going to be good for them if you can manage it emotionally at that time. If you can't, do what's best for you. And beyond that, like, don't be afraid to set boundaries, like in your career, where you're going, who you work for, who you work with. Be as authentic as you can, like through your whole life, and everything gets better after that. It really does.
Well, with me, I actually came out last year after I went to New York Pride, and that was the first Pride event and the only Pride event actually I've been to.
Dude,
so.
wow, the one to go to.
Yeah, really.
Now every other Pride, it's going to be just like, okay.
It was New York Pride,
I guess.
No, it was really crazy. It was so packed, you really couldn't move, but it was insane to just see so many people just so comfortable with themselves. And probably that, what you were saying before, like something that kind of just jump-started, like, oh, you coming out, that pretty much jump-started me coming out, because a few weeks after, like, I had a girlfriend at the time, and I wasn't completely really out to anyone except for my very close friends. And I was pretty much at that point really like deathly afraid of telling my own parents that I was pansexual. And because I didn't really think that they would understand, especially because like they would probably understand if I was like, oh yeah, I'm a lesbian, they would understand like that. But I feel like with pansexual, it adds like a whole, even though it's not that difficult, it adds like a whole new, oh, we don't know that word, so please like try to explain. But when I told my mom, I love my mom so much, and she was so understanding, and I was bawling my eyes out just trying to get all the words out, and she was like, it's okay. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it was just like, I had so much fear, and like I was so nervous and just shaking. And like she knew I was off when I was like sitting down on the bed, like on her bed with her, and she was just like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, "Well, I've been meaning to tell you this for so long now, but I just like I haven't found the right moment until now, and like I just want to get it out there, bleh. Like just like just said it all." And she was like, "No, it's perfectly fine. Like I kind of knew." And I was like, "Wait, are you kidding? Really?" It's like I made it that obvious? No, but and I told her I had a girlfriend and that I was just I was just very comfortable with who I am, and just from there on out, like I just felt just so much better about how about how just I was presenting myself. It was just like I just felt comfortable, like I just felt right, and now I'm just like. I'm not like inserting it everywhere I go, but I'm just so like comfortable and free. It's just like, yeah, that's just who I am, and I just wish I just told myself last year, it's just like, it's fine, you're gonna be okay. If you are comfortable, tell like the person that you're comfortable with about it. Like you don't have to say it though. There is no obligation for you to say it. If you don't like, if you're at a workplace and you're uncomfortable with your coworkers, you have no obligation to tell them. That's your personal life. That's your personal thing. Don't, reveal that part of you.
Amen to that.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just really comfortable with myself now. I'm comfortable being with my girlfriend. I'm comfortable just in general. So I'm just really
Congratulations.
happy.
Good for you, girl.
And you're absolutely right. It's like sometimes you just need somebody to just be like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You are absolutely 100% who you are, and that's exactly who you should be. And it's like, okay, all right, I'm a good neutral now. Now we can move forward.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nice.
Well, for me, it took, if I could tell myself something when I was 19, which has been 10 years ago, it's that it's a long process. Like, oh my gosh, is it a long process? I think I've come out to my parents like 3 times now. The first time I was just like, I said it and then I kind of hid back in, didn't do anything about it for some years, and then I did it again. But yeah,
Has it gotten easier every time?
Yeah, I took my girlfriend to visit in Bolivia because I'm Bolivian, and I think that's another reason why it was hard. Latina moms.
Oh yeah, girl, I'm still dealing with it.
Dude, cradle Catholic right here. But it's hard, but it gets better. I don't know. It's like a weird balance where I just kind of remind myself, okay, I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna be super vulnerable, but that's gonna give me strength, and I'm gonna be like a stronger person because of it. And because of that, it'll be worth it. But yeah, there's just some days where you're just like, I feel weak today. I'm not gonna really put myself out there. But some days where you're like, hey, I'm gay, and So yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar outing in social media, being tagged shirtless in a gay bar on Facebook. And that's how my parents found out, and everyone in my family and all my friends. We were super religious, and everyone I knew was religious. And so they kind of disowned me, and none of those people are in my life anymore. So it was a struggle starting over from 0 people, family and friends. And the advice I would give to that boy right now is to don't hesitate, just dive into the community. Because eventually I joined a bunch of gay sports, even though I'm not great at sports, and the gay gamers group and the gay volunteer group, and just everything I could find where I could meet people and build a community and a family. And that saved me eventually, so I would say don't hesitate.
Dude, chosen families.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
so beautiful.
Honestly, the best part about coming out is I get to start over from scratch. Now I get to choose my family.
Oh yeah.
It's you're my mom, you're my dad, you're all my siblings, let's go. But community is something that, I feel like everybody here has resonated with that more than anything else. And again, going back to RTX, every time I go there, there's just so many people who are happier and are not afraid to just like come up to. It's like, I'm assuming you get something very similar, Muriel. It's like,
Oh,
hey,
God.
Hey, thank you for being you because now I get to be me because of you. It's like, you're you because of you.
You're right.
But you know what? Thanks for including me in that process.
Yeah,
I appreciate that because that, like, it's like silly it is, that levels me up. It's like, I'm like, all right, now I'm this level of gay.
Yeah. Oh, no,
I've
it's
helped
true.
people just be who they are by talking about it publicly. And it's like, there's so many people who, I mean, I was terrified to come out. And I mean, I've talked about it at RTX panels before where it's like, we're in a very weird, very loud, very like fast moving industry. And, you know, it's like, there's a lot of people who come out and join the industry, and I hadn't really seen someone come out like me in a long time. There was a voice actress, Maddie Bluestein, who was the voice of Meowth in Pokemon, who, when I learned more about her as a kid, I'm just like, that's really interesting. And I can pinpoint that exact moment in my life where it's like, that moment of, that's really interesting, was actually like, you resonate with this person. You don't know why yet, but you resonate with them. And I sat on that my entire life until a couple years ago. And it's one of those things like how influential that one person was. And it's like, Maddie sadly passed away. So it's like, they'll never know. But there's instances like that where it's like, hey, this one person helped me become me. It may have taken a long time. Maybe I'm a slow learner, but you'll never know who will inspire you to take that step and be brave about it. Maddie for me was a big one, and I thought back about it a lot. I actually talked about her quite a bit, and it's just like, yeah, did you know that the voice of Meowth was actually a trans woman? It's like, people are like, that's an interesting fact. I'm like, it means a lot to me, and I don't really know why. But has there been anybody in your life that like jump-started you, or some moment that inspired you to actually make the jump, or continues to inspire you to this day?
Oh, the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, Power Rangers. She was the first woman I saw, and I was like, I remember, being like a child and just being like, she's really pretty. I want to like hang out with her.
I have a story for you later.
Oh, do you know her?
It's complicated. Some of the RT community might remember that.
Oh God. Oh, I hope it's nothing bad about her. But I like Kimberly, not the actress. I don't really, if she's done bad things, I don't associate myself. But I mean, for me, it was always just like, growing up, I kind of knew that there was something different with me, but then I didn't really know what it was. And I also like grew up in a small town. Word gets around pretty easily. So like majority of like my, like middle school and like dating years when I was home, I like dated boys. I never liked it. Would like hold hands like this. Be like, don't try to kiss me, please. I'm too young. But then would like daydream about kissing girls. And then it finally like was in like high school that I actually like met, just a few other gay kids, and kind of was like, oh, like I wasn't out to them, but then like the more I hung out with them, they were just kind of like, oh, you're one of us. And I was like, yeah. So for me, it's always been like the people that I've surrounded myself with that have made me feel like family and made me feel comfortable, that kind of did that. I can't say that there was really one person or something that I looked up to. I mean, in growing up, it was watching South of Nowhere and Degrassi and being like, there's gay people and they can be young and like, not, like I think now we're finally getting to the point in media where like queer lives aren't these huge tragic things. And we're barely getting there. Like there's still a lot of work to be done, but yeah, it was mostly just like my friends who I picked those friends for a reason, and I didn't really know why until about 2 weeks into hanging out with them. I was like, okay, I know why, So, yeah. about you?
Yeah, for me, it was, I don't know if you remember Dan Savage had this campaign, It Gets Better,
Yeah.
and I wasn't allowed to, like, I didn't know any gay people, I was sheltered, I couldn't watch any shows that had gay characters on it, but I could watch that, like, under the covers late at night and just, like, cry, just, like, knowing that there's people out there like me and that someday I could be like them.
I'm trying to think of, there's not like one big model, because like when I grew up, there was the L word, and I watched that and I was scared. Literally, I watched that and I was like, I don't want to be that. But
is this what I have to do now?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to
You're like
have
writing,
a baby.
You're writing down the theme song. Okay, wait, crying, fucking, laughing. What is it? How do I do all these things at once?
But yeah, I think friends matter a lot. The people that you surround yourself with, and also just like become your own friend. Like that was, I think, the best thing. I mean, that sounds corny, but like just being okay with who you are and just like having those internal conversations and loving yourself, and like that for me was probably, yeah, I don't know, just being able to be okay with who I was and my own person.
I don't think there's really any particular like character from a show or anything like that, but it's definitely like the friends that I've made, especially when I knew in high school. Like I think like probably freshman or sophomore year in high school that like I knew that I was like pansexual, or I wasn't even sure then. But just like the people that I surrounded myself with, I knew like for a reason, as you were saying before, Mariel. It was just like I was drawn to them for some way, like in some way, other than just like personality-wise and stuff like that. But it's just hearing like other people's stories and just like experiencing, especially if they're like long-term friends, experiencing their life like with them, it's just like that, like finding that as a role model kind of, and just yeah, I don't really have I will think of one later probably. It'll probably appear in my head, but at the moment I'm not too sure.
I definitely looked like outward, because industry-wise, around the time that I got engaged and was like officially coming out like publicly, all of my gay friends were still closeted except who I was engaged to and her friends. So it was not like the best internal source of support beyond like my relationship. So our roommate at the time was obsessed with Grey's Anatomy, and I'd never seen it. And then I see this beautiful like curvy broad walk by, and I'm like, who's that? Who is that? And she's like, oh no, she's like a like bisexual character on here. And I'm like, I'm gonna watch all of this. And yeah, like Sara Ramirez and her like incredibly like unique Calzona. The whole journey for her, like as a human experiencing that she has a bi character. She's in real life married to a man, and then eventually like comes out like as a person outside of the show. And I just thought that was really fascinating to watch someone in my industry going from like just maybe she discovered that about herself along the way, or just also was like asked to be quiet about it and then was like, I've had enough. Yeah. Like however that happened for her, it's just, that's really empowering. And like, you know, you want to see people that you relate to that look like you. Like, right. And I'm like, oh, this curvy broad that sings is up here on the TV and she's gay? Sign me up.
So what you're saying is what you're saying. Representation matters?
So much.
Now that when you said Grey's Anatomy, it like made a little light bulb go off in my head that I remember I used to go home and watch All My Children because one of the characters, her name is Bianca Montgomery. I can't remember. Her mom is in the show, Susan, the character played by Susan Lucci, but I remember going home and watching it and being like, there's girls and they're kissing each other and it's forbidden, but I'm gonna watch it. And I remember my mom thinking like, it is so weird that you're 13 years old and you're coming home obsessively watching this
like
soap opera.
Soap opera.
I was like, Mom, the stories are just so thrilling. You just need to get behind it. And then she started watching with me. Oh yeah, she would start watching me and be like, Mom, you have to leave. You can't watch it.
This is for me, okay?
Yeah. Bianca Montgomery, that's what it was in All My Children. I think that was what was her name.
Brilliant. So you brought this up. When was the last time you came out? Mine was 2 weeks ago, again, having that conversation with my grandmother. Because this never stops. It really doesn't.
Oh, no.
It's like there's people who are just like messaging me on Twitter. It's like, hey, I didn't know you were. It's like, Really? I mean, have you seen my social media?
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen? I mean, the shirt kind of gives it away, just a smidge. But it's like it happens so frequently. It kind of becomes like its own trope. It's like you never stop coming out. And it's like ha ha ha. It's like no, but really, years and years into it, when you're just like, yes, I'm this. It's like, have I done this a million times? I think I have. But
Get like a little card and hand out.
it's just like here's
on your way out.
It's the Japanese business model of introducing yourself. It's like, yes, this is my name. Here's my card. It has all my information on it. Don't ask me any other
Read
questions.
before we continue.
It's my terms of service, basically.
I think the shirts and whatever make it easier. I don't have to come out like formally anymore because there's an icon in my profile name, and I'm wearing the RT Pride shirt, and I've got short shorts on. Like, you know, like I don't have to like sit you down and tell you.
Look,
the story.
my existence is like, you know what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm here for.
It makes
All
it
right,
easier.
cool.
Yeah. I think the last time I like came out was I had an annual checkup with my gynecologist, and we were talking about birth control.
Oh, that's one of the best conversations.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, so what's your birth control method? And we're like, none. And they're like, but you're sexually active? I was like, yes.
And
then they look at me and they're like, but what's your birth? I'm just like, look at my chart. All right? Look at them.
Well, I am on birth control because of like hormones, acne, and all of this stuff. And so, I was like, oh, like I don't know, I've been thinking about getting off of it, and I was like, I don't really need to be on it for controlling birth. And she was just like, yes. And I think I had probably come out to her before, but I forgot because she was like very, I mean, you know, very casual about it and whatnot. But in my head, I was just like, oh God, what is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? And she was just like, okay, anyway, yeah, like if you want to get off of it, you can, but like, it doesn't really matter. You'll be fine. And I was like, okay, thanks, Doc. I'm out. What about you?
I'm newly dating. So yeah, divorced and dating. It's fabulous to be gay. But yeah, so I've discovered that people, and by people, sorry, I mean men, more so than women, do not fucking read your profile. They're like, swipe,
yeah.
Hotness, gonna check that off and find out about you later. But so then it's like, you're having that conversation, and I've discovered, like, interestingly, that women seem to have that conversation much more, like, acceptingly. Men like sometimes seem to like bristle and they're like, bisexual. I don't know what that means. Am I gonna get a threesome later? Like, no. So it's interesting. It's like an interesting conversation to have to keep having like really regularly now, which is great because the more I can talk about it, the more I can educate people who maybe haven't had an experience with someone in our community before on like a dating scope. So it's an interesting challenge, and I like to find like fun new ways to do that challenge, but yeah, so all the time right now.
I think it's like, well, yesterday I came out again, so, but
Congratulations.
just like to other friends. Thank you. But it's just like, since I came out last year and I'm not like as completely open with it, with like, even with like some family but like most of my friends know, especially close ones. But it's just like, because I came out last year, it's still like new to people somewhat. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, well, yeah, that's just how I am. Sorry, you know, that's it. But just like really in general, it was yesterday, and I'm just kind of it's not even just like a sit down conversation. It was in the beginning with like everyone just to lay it out and everything, but now it's just like, it's just passing conversation because I am comfortable. So it's just like yesterday I was like, oh yeah, my girlfriend and I, etc. And it's just like, it's very passing conversation. It's not anything I'm just gonna be like taking your hand and sitting you down and be like, shit. It's just like,
happy for you.
What was that show? There's that, I can never remember the name of it. It's like, whoa, me gay too. Me gay
day
there it is, one
time. One day at a time.
That scene entirely, that's it.
It's amazing, like, yes.
Wait, me gay too? It's like, when you meet somebody who's on the same level, you can kind of, like, it's weird to say it, you can kind of feel it. I think everybody kind of knows that. It's just like,
I mean, gaydar exists for a reason.
It's real.
Because gay people know how to smell each other out.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, look, we're in unfamiliar territory. Where's my tribe? Where's my pack?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, there you are. All right, we're good. Okay. You and I have locked eyes. We're not going to talk, But if we need each other,
we're here.
We're here.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I appreciate everybody's stories. Oh no, here he is.
What?
Oh boy.
Oh, you can't. Okay. All right. Hi, boy.
Everybody.
Hi.
How's it going?
Full weight. I've been working out. I got it.
No, I'm proud of you for this.
You like,
Swat you
you like
right now,
burping
babe.
like a baby too?
Oh. Well,
Don't burp.
The bouncing really.
How's everybody doing?
Hi, Max.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
So
you're sticky. Why are you sticky?
It's hot outside.
Oh, you're putting your nice sweaty body on me.
Just all over. I'm steeping.
You're so gross.
Here.
There you go. Join in. Join in.
Ooh, I like this angle.
We have some
right here.
Oh my gosh, wait, I didn't realize there was actually a spot.
Well, there wasn't, but we'll make room.
Now there is.
God.
Do you want to, Kaden? Would you like to invite some other?
yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Thank you
Pop
guys
out.
for hanging out.
Yeah,
if you'd
thanks
like
for
to,
having
if you'd
us.
like to stick around, please do. We're going to be going on for a little while longer now. So, thank you for sharing your stories.
Yeah.
And,
course.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for coming.
Say where people can follow you.
Yes.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
On the internet.
Hey, Samsar on Insta mainly, but also Twitter.
There you go.
Sarah M. Duel at Twitter.
There you go.
Completely different than my actual name, the OG Bojangles.
Oh, hey.
Giselle Grayson or GiselleNow.com.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
And I just want to do a shout out to Out Youth because they're.
Oh, yes.
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 I have 2 friends that work there. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
support
Out
them,
Youth.
and-
Again, this whole stream, it's like our shirts. You know, it's like proceeds from the shirts go to Out Youth. But we're also going to encourage you guys. There is a link to donate to Out Youth. Please do. It's a wonderful group, and it's all about, you know, again, it's providing a safe space for the LGBTQIA plus youth, and there's
local, too.
It's local for us, but I absolutely encourage everybody out there to find a local group for themselves, and even if it's just to reach out, you know, it's nice to have somebody like actually there, somebody you can talk to. It's like, as much as the internet is a wonderful place and a lovely place to actually meet and invest your time with new people and find new friends, sometimes you kind of just need to have somebody there with you to talk about these things. And Out Youth is a great place for that, and that's local to us. But I encourage you very much to look out for your own and to contribute to Out Youth because they're wonderful.
Yeah.
There you go. All
Nice.
right.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thanks.
Hi, Max.
Everybody left whenever I showed
Well,
up.
That's pretty typical for you, right?
Yes.
I might
now
have
I can just
planned
be like this.
Well, Max, how you been?
I've been pretty good. It's hot outside.
It is very hot outside.
Can we get a close up on Max? Just like, there we go. Thank you. Perfect.
I'm wearing a jacket for fashion only, not function.
Yeah, I forgot that I was wearing flip-flops.
Oh, I did not, and neither will the people. We're getting some friends mic'd up right now, I believe.
Yes.
We'll have a nice new group of people joining us.
So-
but in the meantime,
We do have the RTTV chat open.
oh, we do.
love
Hi,
it.
chat.
Hello, chat. So if you have some questions for us, real quick, go ahead and send them. We'll try and interact with you as much as possible. We have a lot to get through today, but we're on. It's never enough time, Max.
There's never
It's
enough
never
time.
enough time.
Yes.
But
And we all agreed that as the gays, we would not slow down time today. We do have
We do have that
domain
power.
over-
We do have that
we are
We,
time
we
mages.
do one of
That does happen.
these. Right? Is that what he does?
Yeah, actually, Doctor Strange is a really important
He's-
queer documentary.
Doctor Strange is queer AF.
Doctor Strange.
Excuse me, have you seen that cape?
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. I mean,
Honey.
Honey.
So,
there they go. They caught up to us.
Okay.
Max looks so proud of himself. Max always looks proud of himself because Max is proud of
I
himself.
just, I just like partying it out on
do.
on whatever
And-
large cushioned surface.
yes. And shout out to you for doing the Pride photo shoot. You got that together. You designed
Yeah.
that. You got that together. You did all the videos.
That
we
was
showed
a
two
lot.
of them as a pre-stream.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, that was so much fun to work on because I was really glad that marketing basically came over and was like, "What do you think?" We're kind of gonna defer to what you think because I think it's more important for somebody that's a part of this community to talk about it. And like, I was very specific with the questions. Like, I was like, I wanted to kind of talk about celebration, but not in just it gets better, not that that's a bad thing to
No,
say,
of course not.
but it was go a little bit further than that and talk about how how people express themselves, and I was just blown away by everybody that showed up and said things. I was like, it was so funny because I did my own interview at the end of the day where I interviewed myself, and I was very tired, and I also had to edit that, and I was like yelling at the screen the entire time, being like, say it better. Everybody else said it so well, like you, like everybody that showed up. I was like,
you did a fantastic job.
Thank
You're a great director and you're a great actor, so you handled both roles at the same time perfectly.
I was just like, when I was editing the footage of myself, there was one part where I like flubbed what I was saying, and then I was like, okay, Max, you're editing this now, and I know that you're angry at yourself, so just calm down.
It's gonna be okay.
And I totally forgot that I did that, but yeah.
Did that help you?
Oh, no. No, but that entire thing was like so much fun, and I just like, it was also awesome. Like Giselle was like giving modeling tips to me because she's like, this is how you.
When Giselle arrived on the set, the mood changed entirely. Giselle was like, all right, this is how we do it. And it's like, okay, following your lead. You're the pack leader now.
Yes,
you're the alpha gay. Let's go.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, it was like, and just it was also really funny because you were the only bad one.
Why was I bad?
Because you kept on snapping the.
Oh yes.
The ribbons.
Well, what kind of material was it that you had?
Those, so that it's a really simple installation. People can actually like look it up. It's called, I think, flagging tape art, and it's really simple. All you need is like a white wall and like a staple gun and then flagging tape, and you can do some really cool stuff with it. But the end result is whenever you're posing at it,
it's
real easy to knock it right out of there.
I was the only one who did it. No one else did it.
I think Issa did.
Issa did it once.
Issa's also a bad girl.
You did it like probably a dozen times.
Oh, I did it every time I would step onto the platform, I would snap one and be like, Max, Max.
She's like, it was worth it for the
It was 5 minutes of reset time every time it happened.
It wasn't that long.
Yes.
Do you have any new friends joining us? Friends with mics? Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes.
I'm sorry. Hi.
How's it going?
No one's here.
Don't tell anyone you've stolen a bit.
Well, I don't want to.
It's rule number one.
No, but that's plagiarizing. Brooke, can I steal your bit? I told you to do it. There we go.
See there. All
then
right?
just fucking kidding.
Okay.
Can I say bad words on here?
No, you can't.
It's Rooster.
You cannot.
But I can't be gay and not say bad words.
I'm telling you, you cannot.
Okay.
You specifically.
Just me.
Tell
Okay.
the people. Tell them.
Who are you?
Give them an intro.
Oh, hi. Hello, my name is Andrea Capritti. I am an animator at Rooster Teeth. I've been working on Ruby and Genlock and some cool stuff I can't really talk about right now. So.
It's the animated show starring Max and I.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Maxiel.
Oh, look,
Ooh, Max, you're getting.
Is upgrading.
That means you stay, Max.
Hell yeah.
Shantae, you stay.
Now
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
leave.
You can't leave. Oh, look at Nick just
This
softly.
is great. This is
Softly.
great. This is great.
So sweat. Wow.
Baby, I was outside. I was outside as well.
Yeah.
That's I'm greasy.
That is hot.
I just ate 2 pizzas too.
Ooh, I'm so jealous.
Fine.
So
okay.
can I address the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant in the room?
No, is the whole thing like about gay culture trying to get your feet up off the ground when you're sitting down?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
We don't know how to sit.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's been my entire life, and I'm just like, why can't I sit properly? And I came out, I'm just like, oh, everybody else is too. Oh, that's not okay.
Well, yeah, you can't sit straight because you're not straight.
You constantly, it's just like very weird, a little fidgety. It's like you're always just
the gays
off.
don't know how to sit. We don't know how to sit. I find myself at my house.
You're supposed to sit straight. It's like I can't do that.
I can't do anything.
I find myself at my house. I'll be like watching TV, and I'm slowly just like.
Yeah, you slowly get.
And then I get to this point.
Yeah, closer to hell.
And
yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
like, this feels great.
Yeah.
It's also it's also a known
That's my
gay
crotch.
rule that the floor is lava.
It is lava.
Oh, the floor is
Yeah.
Or is lava, but only for one of our feet, the one that we keep.
If you have one on the
here.
ground and one in the air, you're safe.
You're fine.
As soon as both feet hit the ground, that's it. You're melting.
dead.
It's gone.
See, this is like my self-confidence. Like I can't
Oh.
be self-confident and like have 2 feet on the ground.
No, it's
One of them is
there
like,
you
that's
go.
my brand. I'm just gonna be the entire thing like this. It's not propped on anything.
Muriel's just like, all right.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm wearing, tried hard today, ladies. I put on Batman flip-flops and said, I don't care anymore. I'm coming to work.
Happy
and I have shoes in my car.
That's
and I was like,
that's
I'll
the
change
pride
them out.
mentality right there. Is I'm going to work with Batman flip-flops.
Yeah,
really
exactly. There was one time we went on a trip to San Antonio. It was PAX South, and they were having there was like a queer party that we were invited to, and I remember I saw you. And I was like, oh, Max, like I love your outfit, and you said thanks. I literally just bought it, and you had gone to Target, I think, and bought literally every item of clothing that you were wearing, including socks and underwear, because you had none.
That's
all of them-
incredibly iconic, actually.
All of them were dirty, and I didn't feel like
Doing
washing.
laundry?
Yeah, I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
How many other people here have gone to a store, bought a shirt just because they didn't want to do laundry?
Never. I love to save my money.
I used to go to Goodwill.
I do these
because they wash it before they give it to you.
Look,
but people have tried it on in the store.
I mean,
people have tried on the stuff from Target in the store too.
Yeah, but I take that home and wash it.
I try on your clothing whenever you leave for work.
You don't know where I live.
By the way,
I do
by
now.
the way, the chat chimed in immediately after we were talking about keeping our foot off the floor,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody's just like, "Oh yeah, exactly." So it's like,
Yeah,
that's part of gaydar. It's just like when you see somebody like not quite sitting as proper as they should, and they're a little fidgety and everything like that. It's like you might.
It's gay culture.
It's
Or if you see somebody sitting like that.
That's just. That might be extremely heterosexual, though. I don't know.
Yeah, remember when in the 60s when everybody did that? It was like a thing.
Yeah, but there were no
Everybody
gay
in the
people in the
60s was
60s.
Yeah, there was no.
There was
yeah,
no gay
none.
people in the 60s.
69 is when we first came out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Nice.
I love.
Do we have anyone else getting mic'd up?
Can't believe.
I'm still waiting.
Okay. Oh, we do.
Okay,
All right,
cool.
come and join us whenever you're ready.
Please, more cultured people. Please sit in the middle, because right now it's
You gotta
just a
sit in the
sandwich.
middle and then we'll all
How Max
celebrate.
suddenly took over the couch. You're
You
gonna have
sit
to
wherever
scooch
you
over,
want.
my
You
buddy.
sit-
Get in here.
Get in here, guys.
Get in
Come on.
here.
There we go.
Get
You just
in
sit there.
here.
Max, put your leg
Erica,
down.
get in
Big
there.
No.
Big room. Hi, friends.
looks so
Please
excited.
introduce
Okay.
yourselves.
I'm Mary.
Say hi to the people. How's it going, Rachel?
Hi.
Murphy, do you want to start?
Hi, I'm Murphy. Oh, wow. Okay.
Sorry, I just realized I was peeking through.
That's just a taste.
That's
Just
Max
a little
culture.
bit. Yeah. I'm Murphy. I work in community support. I'm really bisexual.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, same. I didn't say that.
I didn't. Same hat. I didn't
No
know if you
hat,
need.
but same hat.
Same hat now.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was
Yeah.
wondering why you were out here. I was like, what?
Listen, it's just
She just
just
shows
my
up
flow.
sometimes.
I heard there was free pizza. That's why.
Look,
There's over there. Yeah.
Oh,
Look, I'll be
yeah, I
really
had no
honest.
idea.
This morning, I got a message from Gavin. It's like, do we have a budget for pizzas? It's like, we have a budget?
I had no idea.
And then
That's
Gavin's
awesome.
just like, I'll handle it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin, for the pizza. Thank you for the gay pizza and allies.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, I'm Erica. I'm a 3D animator.
Yay!
I'm very bisexual. And
Oh my goodness.
I've been dating my girlfriend for 8 years.
Holy shit.
You guys are basically like at a retirement fund.
Yeah, at this point, we could probably just stop working.
Yeah.
Just
Lesbian relationships, you guys are already dead.
I know, right?
We're actually just ghosts.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, I don't mean to stereotype, but how many cats do you guys have?
It's really funny you ask. Because
That's the other thing.
We
Keeping
both
your
have
feet
a
off the
cat.
ground
And pussy.
All right. You cannot say that word. What did I tell you? You got to be good. I'm just kidding. You can say it.
Pussy.
Pussy.
Pussy is apparently fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How
many cats do you have, Rick?
We already went over that.
We don't need to get into that.
I know.
I love you, Matt.
Go ahead.
Oh, hi. Yeah. All right. My name's Rachel. I work in animation as well, and yeah, I'm pretty bisexual. I'm pretty excited about it.
Everyone at the animation department is just gays. Yeah.
Okay, so
I like
when I sent out the signups, and I'm just like, okay, so I'm just like, and literally it's just like wall of animation. I'm just like, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Cartoons are an awakening.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Like there are a few characters in Goofy movie that like did.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, Max is good, but like, you gotta name that chick.
Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Oh.
Yeah.
Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Oh, baby. she's a cartoon character, but
still. She's real in my heart.
Shout out to Roxanne for Pride Month.
yeah.
Pride.
A goofy movie is now absorbed into gay culture.
Yeah.
It's canonical right here. We've chosen it. Sorry, Disney. We've already made it happen.
Yeah.
It's canonical.
It's
so.
Babadook.
Oh yeah,
Babadook. Goofy movie.
Goofy movie.
Did you see the Pride Babadook?
Yes, my favorite.
It's real.
Oh yeah.
I saw that movie. I saw that movie when it came out. And I'm just like, this is a really good movie. Literally a year later, I'm just like, what is happening?
I mean,
and then it's just like, no, you know what? I mean, we're all kind of like cryptids, whatever that works. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it's all about being weird and accepting. It's like, Babadook, you know what? All right, I'm feeling it. Okay.
Yeah, no,
There.
yeah.
Accept it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we've been talking about. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna. It's about Bigfoot. Like we can pass over it.
Nope.
Bigfoot.
No.
Absolutely
I
not.
need to know. I grew up in what's called Bigfoot country in like this really small town in Northern California. So like,
What?
yeah, it's this town called Happy Camp, California.
Happy Camp.
Yeah, it's a real. I've told you this so many times. Yeah. Oh, you're cheering. Rachel, please.
How many times have you told me this?
Several, at least.
She just
my
likes to
God.
pretend
Another
it's the
part,
first time.
by the way,
Yeah.
another part of gay culture. I forgot everything.
fucking
I was
forgot.
gonna say.
So I've always associated cryptids with like just the gay identity in general.
Okay.
'Cause they're like,
Makes sense.
they're like, I don't know how to word it, like not secretive, but just like kind of outside the norm, I guess, right now.
Okay.
But
It
The
works.
chupacabra.
Bigfoot makes me
The
proud.
chupacabra is bisexual.
A chupacabra's my cousin. Yeah.
See, there you go. Boom.
He's my primo. He's really good.
You know what? I want a Queer Eye, but with 5 Cthulhus.
Oh my God. Actually,
How would a French tuck?
Oh, and that's the whole thing.
Where would it
Is that yeah?
Where would it
What would it French?
So the cryptid queer eye, Bigfoot, Babadook, obviously.
New Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil, that's a
Jersey Devil.
Mothman.
Mothman is
And then
a
Babadook, and all hosted by Cthulhu.
Hold on.
Yes. Yes.
La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Oh.
Is a
Queer icon.
queer
They made a
icon.
movie about La Llorona recently.
Yeah, they called it La Llorona.
Yeah, they did. I know.
La Llorona.
Oh, I think I saw La
Nancy? What the
Llorona.
hell?
this feels like Nessie erasure, though.
Nessie.
Nessie's like mom.
Yeah.
Nessie's like,
Yeah.
Nessie's been here for like
Wait,
millions of
someone
years.
said Godzilla is gay and her
Godzilla
girl-
is gay.
Thank you.
That's it. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
That's canonical.
Yeah, that
Can't
is.
take- We're taking that too.
Oh, man.
We're really excited
Okay,
about Mothman.
back on the subject. We've been
please.
talking about coming out. That's kind of the subject that we talked on last year. This year we're focusing kind of like on advice and like what post coming out life is like, adult life, adulting, unless you didn't come out as an adult. If you knew then that's awesome. But yeah, just I think Caden's question was.
It's like, what would you do? If you could go back and when you came out and be like, hey, I'm you from the future. You've been out for about a year, or you just recently came out. Here's some advice that will make everything easier, better, or just make you feel better.
It would definitely be like whenever you like are realizing that it's like, hey, those things that you think that you are still playing by the rules of, like, you don't even really have to think about those rules in the same way that you used to. Like, I know that for me it was interesting because my husband and I got married at the beginning of or at the end of a year, like a little bit over 2 years ago. And it was funny because we haven't done the ceremony and the rings yet.
Oh, shit.
We had a lot of stuff basically going on, and we were like, we need to get this together. And so then we did that, but then it was like, oh well, I guess I've missed my opportunity for a ceremony and the rings and all that stuff. And I was like, wait, I'm gay. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Exactly.
And I was like, and so we're actually planning on doing something like, I don't know if we would call it a wedding or something, but we're doing some sort of big celebration in the near future. And I was like, because that was the whole thing, is like, it was like societal pressures and things that are supposed to work a certain way. It's like when you are already operating outside of that, it's kind of like, don't feel the pressure to do things a certain way just because that's how other people do it.
Yeah, no rules, just gay.
It's like the Outback.
Just the Outback.
It's dangerous.
And
Dangerous.
Picture the steakhouse or something.
No
That
masters.
too.
Yeah.
No masters.
So Max, I'm kind of the same way. Low-key kind of secret. My partner, who is non-binary and gender fluid, we got married by Caleb Dennicor behind the bungalow
Oh, what?
in the middle of the workday.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It was
extremely
Caleb Denecor, Jordan Denecor. We were behind the bungalow. It was my friend and one of my friends and one of their friends, and it was filmed on an iPhone. And it was just like, do we have rings? It's like, well, we got the ones that we got for our engagement. It's like, that's good enough. And we just rolled with it. And it's like, we've never actually had a ceremony either. It's
Yeah.
like, but I guess you can always do it again.
Oh yeah, it was very weird because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm probably like the only person that's done this, and then I found out it was like, no, there was a lot of other people that like kind of made the same choice. It was like, you know, get the official stuff down, and then it was like, and
yeah,
then figure out the party.
A lot of it is too because like, I mean, we just got the right to like get married. It's just called married now. It's not gay married, but like we just got the right to get married.
I call it garried.
Oh, Gary. I know a Gary.
That didn't work.
I know a Gary. He's bad.
Canceled.
No. Okay. So
there's the joke and it's ruined.
If you get garried, like
don't.
You sound like you're murking someone.
Yeah, I know. That was fucked up.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's always like the chance of like, you know, something might happen, and it's a really sad reality of like, hey, if we get married, we can at least make this like really quick and like get everything like legally done with, and then we deal with like the fancy sparkly stuff afterwards if we want to.
Yeah, there was like it was one of those things where I was like, well, this is how it's gonna be, and you know, like, and then it'll do this, and then it was funny because then I was like, it's like, wait, I could literally just do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, baby.
Like have a party and get as weird as I want, like with the party, like don't even have to be like like no like traditional, you know, any of it.
Yeah, because truly the most annoying part of any wedding is when we're all signing the paper. It's so boring.
Mm-hmm.
But but you don't do anything boring, so.
No, we'll have a float that's on fire.
Yeah.
Hurtling down a hill. I'm on it. I'm screaming.
It's gonna be.
And then
What are you wearing?
Yeah, what are you?
A flaming.
What aren't I wearing?
Well, I mean nothing by the end of it because you're on fire.
You're on fire.
It's you know that guy who does all the dances where he like rips off the you know the stuff? It's basically that except with fire instead of taking it off. So.
But it's all gonna be a bunch of rompers, so it's gonna be really fun.
It's gonna take some science, some precision science to figure out how to make sure each romper burns in its own way, and I don't burn with it. So.
Yeah, because gays are really good at science.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so good at it.
The only thing I'm better at than science is math.
Oh hell yeah.
Incredibly good at math.
Wow.
I'm fucking kidding.
Like, that makes you an alpha.
Rachel looked at me and was like, really? And I was like, no, bitch.
Murphy?
I don't know. I came out like 3 years ago tomorrow, exactly.
Oh, hey.
Congratulations. Thank you. Gayversary. I like it. I guess, like, if as far as advice, just like, don't be afraid, like, of the people you're gonna lose because they weren't fucking worth your time anyway. Like, if that's the thing that's like the nail in the coffin, who cares? Like, you're not gonna miss them after 6 months, so just move on. You're out, you're happier now, just go for it, basically.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If they're not there for you, then they're not your people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're gonna meet so many other people who are way cooler and also way gayer, so what does it matter anyway?
I mean, everyone here.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
I mean, Muriel. Muriel's one of the coolest gay people I know.
Girl.
She's not. I don't know.
You need to meet cooler people.
I don't know. No, you're absolutely cool. I'm pretty sure everybody out there will 100% agree with me.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Not true. I'm gonna start
100%
crying.
true.
Where's my sword? I'm gonna fight the field. You guys.
Hashtag more swords
Give me my
for
sword.
lesbians.
Does that mean that you can knight people? Because I think that's the next level of like.
Be gay, do crimes.
Yeah, be gay, do crimes, knight people.
Crimes, knight people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's the next step in my evolution.
Are all of the gays getting knives, and do we get to walk around Rooster Teeth now with our knives?
If Achievement Hunter can do it.
I almost brought my swords today.
Oh my god.
I know.
Murphy has the best swords. And I wanted.
It's two of them and they like sheath into each other.
Yes, they're perfect.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard.
I know.
Yes. They touch tips and they go in. In the Rooster Teeth short that came out called Assembling, or I don't know if it was called Assembling the Team. The one where Max gets his, PS4, Xbox taken away. It wasn't originally supposed to be in the script that I had my sword, but I went up to Drew, our director, and I was like, hey, can I please have my sword in this? And he was like, oh, but you're like demolitions, you're bombs. And I was like, but how funny would it be if I had my sword too? And he was like, okay, yeah, you're right. And so I went looking for Murphy's sword because I was like, I want because it's like a slow motion reveal. And I was like, I want to just like pull them out of my back and just like have these 2 crazy swords. But
the one time I took them home.
You took them home.
I was working from home that day and I was like, I don't want to leave these unattended.
You're like, I cannot trust people.
Do you keep your swords on you at all times?
They're actually laying right next to my bed right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I have one under my bed.
I live on the first floor. You can't be too careful.
That's actually a good fucking.
I have one under my bed. I have 2 in my car, and I have 1 on my desk.
I feel like I'm like underprepared. I have 0 swords.
Yeah, exactly.
I have swords.
You get a sword.
I have a knife.
I need a
got
sword.
a knife once, like that one kid in the Vine. A knife! And then they took it away from me.
Andrea, I feel like that's the Vine that represents you the most. It's like, what have you got there, Andrea? A knife! No!
And then you're the person in the back that's like, oh my God, how do you get a knife?
Erica, Rachel?
Oh, yeah, do you want to go?
Well, I came out when it was freshman year of college, because that's when my girlfriend and I got together, and I had not dated anyone.
Were you roommates?
No, but we ended up being
oh my God,
roommates.
they weren't roommates.
So dating before roommates?
Yeah.
That's
like
getting married.
That's,
yeah. I mean, we went through some tough times because I got raised in a really religious household. So there are some harsh years, but I guess the main advice I would have for myself back then is to just like take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. It does suck, and there's not really any good way to sort of get around that, but you'd be surprised how much people change, and you'd be surprised how many people you actually have on your side.
Yeah.
Because my mom wasn't into it, but guess who was? It was my grandma.
Oh, grandma!
Grandmas always know what's up, though.
Yeah, she knew what was up. She was like, oh, I always knew. And I was like,
what?
Why didn't you tell me?
My grandma said the same thing.
Mama, what the heck?
You're like, bitch, I've been waiting.
It was so hard figuring it out myself, and then she's like,
She pulls out
I
a
knew.
card from 10 years ago. It's just like, I wrote this for you 10 years ago.
I wrote this for
And
your
I'm
future
like,
wife.
She's like, I saw how you were playing with the boys and you didn't ever want to be around all the girls doing your hair.
Really heteronormative, but okay.
Yeah, I know. Really, but I mean, she grew up in that era, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
At least she knows about it.
Yeah, kind of woke.
She's getting there.
Yeah.
Woke-ish.
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 Rachel?
Ratchet?
Yeah, I would say like actually fairly similar advice too. I think the biggest thing I would say is like happiness. If I could tell myself this, be like, your happiness is like the most important thing. Because for a while too, like my mom wasn't also on my side a little bit. And by that I mean, like when I told her, it was also like in the most roundabout way, kind of had to do with me wanting to put like If You Were Gay by Avenue Q on my alarm clock. I kid you not.
When did you come out?
Like I like told her what, and
when was it?
It was in middle school.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, God.
yeah, it was.
Okay.
I was in middle school, and I essentially was like, "Hey, I really like this song, and I'm gonna put this on the alarm clock." And my mom's like, "Well, if you did that, some people might think you're gay." And I just like, deer in headlights was just like, half, and like. Because like I found out about half-ish, and I found out about it, kind of in middle school too, where, like, I don't know, I basically told my mom, after I found out from a friend in middle school that you could be bisexual and it's an option, and I was like, oh shit, that's how I feel, she wasn't on my side at first. She very much had the idea. She was like, I want the chapel wedding, like, I always pictured you having kids, and I was like, don't worry. I'll still get the goats. It'll be fun. but like that was the whole thing. She was like, I could tell that she very much was the type who was like, oh, I wanted you to have this life, and if you don't have a kid, how can you be happy? And I was like, okay, first off, this is a lot for a middle schooler to be taking right now. But then years later, it was actually like kind of nice. She did say like, you know what, I will support you. I think. Maybe it might not be the path you want to go, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in middle school. Like, man.
I'm watching SpongeBob.
Yeah, I'm watching SpongeBob. I'm watting Outlaw Star and like reading Paradise Kiss and things like that. Which, by the way, that's good. Oh, it's great. Yeah, and I guess basically, even now, like I call her up and it's great. I'll call her and she'll always be like, hey, are you dating anybody? And I'm like, no, not really. And she's like, okay, well, I just want to make sure you get a boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, I just want you to be happy.
Aww.
And she says that so nonchalantly now. Yeah. And like, that didn't happen when I was in like middle school. She was very more concerned being like, oh, but like, don't you want to be happy this way? Now she's like, no, your happiness is like the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
And like, That's so sweet. I like that.
That's really
I
cute.
definitely thought that the being in a heteronormative relationship and then having kids was like, that was the only way that you were going to be happy in life, and that's it. And if you don't do that, then there's no chance you're going to be happy. And like that was a huge part of my closet for so many years. And yeah, it was really weird to be like step outside of that and then be like, wait, there are options. It's just very weird how it gets in your head.
But Max,
kids
will fulfill you. I have 4 at home. There's 2 cats and 2 dogs.
I've got 74 cows, and I love each of
So
them, and
many
nothing bad happens to them ever.
Nothing at all.
I do love cow videos.
Some of them are cute. The rest of them are.
Did you name the ones that are your favorites? As like, you get to stay.
You get to stay a bit longer.
We named some of them.
Some of them?
The
What-
ladies.
what-
They stick around. But yeah.
So there was a big question in the chat, and it was, apparently, I've been trying to ask Caden a question about what helped them decide to start transitioning. I've been on the fence for a long time. It's like, that's a loaded question.
Don't worry, I've got this one.
Me as a cis woman, I can speak for your experience.
Okay, please do.
I can't.
Because look, there's a lot of information to process, and for some people, actually going through with transitioning it's big. I'm not gonna lie. Every moment of it is not just life-changing in the sense of telling everybody and living that, but also, it definitely does, it's like, it affects you. Like, I was actually having this conversation with my partner. It's just like, before, I understood emotions. I could process them. They were there, and I felt them. But for whatever reason, those little sparks in my brain, they couldn't connect everything properly. And it's just like, I'm happy. It's like, you don't seem very happy. It's like, I'm really upset right now. It's like, you don't look upset. It's like, now I'm on HRT, I'm transitioning. It's like, all these little wires are starting to connect. I'm just like, I'm so fucking excited right now. And it's like, there are things like, it's like, oh, this is what emotions are supposed to be like. And it made me a lot more boisterous and loud and a little more obnoxious, but whatever. That's culture. That's what that is. But choosing to go through with the transition process, which again is no small decision to make. You should make sure you absolutely have every bit of information you can. It's like talk to a doctor. Go to a professional. Talk about your feelings and talk to. It's like I was in therapy for quite a while before making the decision, and just having that neutral person to word vomit to is like, this is everything from the past 20-something years. And it's like, I'm sorry, this is a lot to unpack. It's like, well, that's my job. It's like, oh, that's your job. Cool, that's right. That's what I'm paying you for.
I'm paying you money
for this. And it's like, it helps so tremendously to find that moment of clarity to decide if it's right for you. And a lot of people, it's like, again, elephant in the room. It's like, there's a lot of physical changes. There's a lot of physical changes. There's a lot of physical changes. So, and dealing with that is so weird. I mean, I'll be very candid about it. A couple years ago, I did not have D-cup breasts, all right? I did not have that. They just kind of showed up. They just showed up one morning. It's like, but I also had to learn how to deal with that. And it's like every couple months now, I'm just like, I'm having trouble breathing more regularly. I'm talking to my doctor. It's like, did you check your cup size again?
Maybe.
It's like, no, I forgot to. And it's like, oh, shit. All right, so throw all those out. I just spent $150 on these. Now I got to go get new ones.
You bought one bra?
Hey,
So
yeah, you bought one fucking
Look,
bra.
there was a deal on Amazon, and no lie, it was $75 for a set of 6. They were absolutely the most comfortable things I've ever worn. And I grew out of them.
For 2 months.
I grew out of them in 4 months, and I'm just like, mother.
Your titties are so fucking powerful, honestly.
Yes.
There was,
oh my goodness.
The one thing that I was very upset about on social media, I went and I got fitted for a corset, which, holy shit.
I saw that, yeah.
Oh my God. They're the nicest people. I mean, they were just like, okay, let's fit you for this and everything like that. And I wore the corset and I'm like, this is the most affirming thing I've ever worn in my entire life.
Because they're also not supposed to be uncomfortable. Like, they're supposed to actually like fit you.
It's so, it was like, I love the way this fits. You know, pictures on social media, they went everywhere and somebody was just like, stop stuffing your bra. And I was just like,
what? Baby.
First of all, that's the most offensive thing I've heard on social media today. But it's just like, that was the thing that upset me. It's like, there were people being mean and hurtful about stuff. And it's like, but the comment that bothered me was like, stop stuffing your bra. I was like, look, these are real, all right? No surgery, no nothing. These are me, all right? So you have to, and looping it all back around, you have to understand that this is something that you're choosing to go through. And it's like, you can be trans without going through HRT. You are who you are. But HRT is a very big step. And there's, it's like, there's surgeries that can go into it, and all of that is your choice to do those things. And a lot of it can be scary, but finding a doctor who is, trans inclusive, my doctor is fantastic. And sometimes I'm just like, hey, I'll literally just, look, you're my best patient. I love everything about you. If there's anything you're worried about, and it's why I was like, I can't breathe, blah, blah, blah. It's like, did you check your cup size? Like, damn it. All right. But it's finding those things and making those steps, talking about it and having those discussions. And sometimes you'll have those discussions and they won't go the way you want them to, because sometimes you're just like, I want to do it and I want to do it right now. And I've had that, it's like 2 years before I came out, I was having that discussion. And it's like, I want to do it and I want to do it right now. I'm just like, am I even prepared for this emotionally? Am I prepared for this mentally? Am I prepared for this physically? And at the time I wasn't even out yet. And I'm just like, I just want this so much right now. I was just like, and having those conversations made me realize, wait a minute, let's actually not rush into this, because this is huge. And once you start, it's that process of you are out. And in most cases, people will be able to be just like, there is no incognito mode for being trans. It's like straight people, gay people, everybody's just like, you're probably trans. And it's like, okay, now I have to deal with this situation. And it's a whole other world of issues that you'll come across. But for me, what finally pushed me over the edge of like, okay, I'm gonna do this, was I was having a conversation with my therapist at the time, and I'm just like, I just want to do something so that I can feel happy about being me. And they're just like, and do you think, and it's like, just like very rapid, do you think HRT will help that? It's like, yeah, absolutely. And they're just like, well, there's your answer. It's like, you already know. And then I went home and I told my partner, Val, and Val's just like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. And I was just like, so it was within 5 months of coming out, I was on HRT, and I've been on HRT for 2.5 years now. And changes are pretty big sometimes, so you gotta be ready for that. And sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, just looking in the mirror, it's like, that's me. That's what I've been seeing in the mirror all this time, but nobody else saw it. Now everybody else gets to see this too. Lucky them.
Yep, that's exactly how you should feel.
Yeah.
Do we have, I think we have some more people waiting in the wings.
We do.
My friends, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Any final words? Let the people know where they can find you.
Twitter at @IrieSmile. Be gay, do crimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Twitter is Sunny Shore City with one N because it's from Pokemon.
All right.
You know. Yeah. You're learning so much today, Rachel. It's almost like we haven't been friends for like 4 years.
Oh, wow. Shots.
I love you so much.
Shots fired.
I need help.
Okay. gonna be okay.
Okay, I'm Twitter Esosa20, and my big thing is there needs to be more gay in the horror genre.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If we need more gays in the horror genre, please.
And my Twitter's at Rami_Dota.
It's Rami, not Rami?
I always thought it was Rami.
It's like
we're learning a lot
like,
today.
name in there.
Okay.
But you know, I keep that secret.
And you can find me in hell.
Wait.
Sorry.
I kind of wanted to go with you.
All right. Well, they're gonna go and get switch out the mics.
I love
Got
the
Yes.
fun people waiting in the wings.
So Mariel, it's just you and me again.
Just you and me. Just you and me. How's it going? How you feeling?
It's going pretty good.
Good.
I want to take a moment again to remind everybody that this is we're trying to point everybody to Out Youth. There's links in the descriptions here that you can contribute to Out Youth. It's a local Austin group that allows for a safe space for LGBTQIA+ youth to come to and feel accepted and loved. And to be honest, I think we could all use that every single day. And I actively encourage all of you to find a local place that is for you and fits you, because sometimes you actually do need somebody there with you, as nice as the online communities can be. But yeah, check them out. They're a wonderful group of people.
Yes, Out Youth is great. They do a lot of good work here in Austin. They host a lot of different events. They have an office that the out youths and the closeted youths can visit. They do a prom every year. They do all sorts of galas.
That's the coolest thing I've heard is the fact that there's the
second chance prom.
That second chance prom.
Yeah.
And did you go to prom?
I did. I went to prom for 3 years, and it was one of those things where I remember my sophomore year, because you couldn't go freshman year at all. And sophomore year, you could only go if you got invited by an upperclassman. And so I was so determined to go to prom. So I remember there was just...
You got invited 2 years to go to prom?
Well, you know.
I've never gone to prom.
We should have a second chance prom.
Do you want to do a Rooster Teeth prom?
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
It's just going to be you and me there. I don't want anyone else. You'll be my date.
You know what? I accept.
I'll get you.
You know what? You still have to cook me a steak.
I do. I'll cook you a steak.
I really want you to. I saw the steak you cooked.
It was amazing.
For the RT podcast.
It was very delicious.
I was very jealous that they got to. Gavin's steak.
Listen, it's a situation we're not speaking about, but Barbara rightfully won, because she said she saw the challenge. And she said, I'm gonna figure this challenge out the best way I can with the winning team.
Creative thinking. That's how you solve problems.
That's how you solve problems. Look, and that's what she did.
You know what? She helped anyway, so it doesn't matter.
She did help. She did help.
It's sous chef.
There was prep in the back that people didn't get to see. That's the thing with sous vide. It's not the most exciting thing on TV because there's a lot of prep work that you have to do before the cameras even start rolling.
I want a gay cooking show.
Oh, yeah.
I want a gay cooking show. It's like,
why not?
It's just, should be a gay version of every show, just so we can have this. Is like, all right, they know how to cook, but I want to know how to cook the gay way.
I want a gay Bear Grylls. I want a gay Man versus
gay Bear.
Whatever. What is that show? I can't remember what that
Survivor Man.
Yeah, just like the.
Or no, wait, it was Survivor Man was it Survivor?
No, I can't remember what the Bear Grylls one was called. I think it was. I can't remember what it's called. What was it called? Man versus Wild.
Okay. Gay versus Wild?
Gay versus Wild.
Gay versus society.
And it's just a bunch of queens out in the woods trying to survive.
Oh, yes.
And then you get a bunch of lesbians out there who, in day 2, they've already built a fort and they're ready to go.
Here's what we do. Survivor, but with gays.
With the gays, yeah.
And it's just like every tribe is one of the letters.
There you go.
And everybody's like, at the end, one of each tribe comes together for the ultimate gay survivor.
Oh, we've got friends. We've got friends ready to join us. Please, friends, come, sit.
I love your
That's
shirt.
a great shirt.
Oh my God.
All right. Hey, how's it going?
That is amazing.
Come and sit. Come and sit. Do we have more friends joining us? In a minute.
In a minute. Okay. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Gabriel. I am a 2D animator. I don't know which camera.
Look
right
right
there. Hello. I'm Gabriel. I'm a 2D animator, and I'm non-binary and bisexual.
Boom. What an intro.
Mic drop.
Oh, God.
It's so weird. Hi, I'm Nicole LaCroix. I'm a 3D animator, and I'm asexual, aromantic, and gender questioning.
Hey!
Yeah.
And of LaCroix family fortune?
No, unfortunately. I really wish I had access to that delicious water fortune. The water's not delicious.
But the money.
The money is.
The money is.
Wait. You don't like LaCroix?
I know, it's really ironic. I hate LaCroix water.
Muriel.
I also do not. I don't care for sparkling water at all.
Yeah.
Give me still all day.
Do you like LaCroix?
I really like LaCroix because like that faint fruit flavor.
Okay, then there's the line. There's the line.
It's the
LaCroix,
memory of
anti-LaCroix.
fruit. It's the memory of fruit.
It's like
yes, that's what I like about it.
If
This
fruit farted
vaguely
is-
reminds me of apple.
Yeah,
That's all
like
it is.
someone's thinking really hard about a strawberry right now. Like that's.
I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
But they're there.
And we're connected. It's like a Sense8. Do you guys ever watch Sense8?
Yes.
Sense8. Oh, there's a dog.
Yay!
I didn't know there'd be a dog. Oh my goodness.
This is the entire reason that we had the Pride stream, by
Oh,
the way.
yes.
It was the excuse to have a dog.
He's probably not LGBT, but he does support you all.
Hey.
So.
Hey,
And we love allies.
Yeah.
What my
You are just an
pronouns
ally.
Yes, you should be using they, them for me. Thank you for asking.
East Pride.
Okay, so we have more people joining us. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Sana. I am an aromantic asexual, and this is my dog Glacier, and that's kind of it. Yeah.
We love. Glacier has great eyes.
He's a good boy.
You have great eyes.
Yeah.
Come here. I'm complimenting
He's
you.
a very good ally.
Oh, you're a great ally.
Chat immediately, dog.
Dog.
Who's Crossbow? I feel like I know who that is.
Dog.
I love our broadcast boys. Look,
Yeah.
look at how on the point they are.
Engaged.
Dog can immediately.
I mean, they're focusing on what's most.
Yeah, I mean.
Yes. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Vince. I'm a 3D animator here at Rooster Teeth, and I am gay.
Here, just the animation department
I
showing up and showing
I told
out.
you when the sign up sheet went out, and it's like, it was like, I love you, animation.
It's just a powerful thing when you realize that your childhood crushes were Smurfette and Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond. So.
Is there a story there with Smurfette and Terry McGinnis?
I did not have the full basic cable package, so it's basically local access television. So whatever the local channels were, Smurfette was easy to gain access to. And when I finally got WB, that was added on. Whoa, Batman Beyond, who's that? I want to be him, but so there's something else there.
Beautiful.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hey.
I am also Nicole,
hey.
but you can call me Red for simplicity's sake. I'm totally hetero, but I support all of my friends.
Hey, yeah.
And I have.
You're like a dog.
Yeah. I'm here in support of a family member who is trans male, and just kind of it's new to our family, and just trying to immerse myself in the community so I can support him as best I can. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Very,
That's very cool. So the whole question is, it's like if you could go back and tell yourself some advice when you came out or after you have come out to make everything easier. And in your case, what you would go back and do for your sibling. And it's like, what would you tell them, you know, what you know now to help them or to help yourself or to help them, you know, discover, you know, it's like, or help them, you know, discover yourself and help you through what are going to be some very difficult times.
Anyone can start.
Okay, I guess I'll start. Well, it's really funny because I guess I'd tell myself, like in college specifically, like asexual's a thing. It's you don't have to keep questioning that long. I know you thought you were bi. That's cute. But like, it was funny because like I sort of had the inkling when I was in high school, like I just didn't care about the same things that my friends did. And so when I went through college, I was like, I guess this is the time to have crushes on Marvel superheroes. Okay, Loki, whatever. So then I actually I met one of my friends, and they were my friend all the way through college, but she had told me that she was ace, and I was like, huh, that sounds just about accurate. I think I'll go with that. But so like, I guess the advice I would have given my younger self is like, go on the internet, look this up. I know the internet is like a different place back then, DeviantArt, I guess. But
DeviantArt never changes.
It never changes. Well, I've just switched platforms, that's all.
I'm still on DeviantArt.
Nice.
It's still around?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
DeviantArt is absolutely still around.
It's old enough to be on DeviantArt now.
Inflation is still a trending tag to this day.
Oh no.
It's true. I checked.
Oh, I know. Nicole, I want you to note that Sana brought that up first before I did.
I don't think we've had too many conversations about
pocket
inflation.
information. It's like, all right, I'm out of things to talk about. Hey, do you know that inflation is still trending?
There's this ongoing joke within the 2D department that's like, there's a specific brand of conversation called 2D lunch, where at some point, some weird out there thing will be brought up, whether it's related to fetish, whether it's related to like weird history, whether it's related to just weird scenarios like, which one of the Ninja Turtles do you think each one of the Golden Girls is? Like,
that's a great question.
Yeah, dude, not a question I can answer, but
Art Cave, every conversation always comes back to either Mr. Plinkett, something gross on Reddit, or furries, like no matter what. And we used to have this producer who, without fail, would walk in every single time we were having one of these conversations and just immediately walk out. Like,
so Rose is Michelangelo, right?
That's what I was thinking.
You guys want to follow up with that question?
Sure.
Question run.
Yeah. So for me, when I was younger, it was a lot of like repressing those feelings, I guess, that I had. So I guess the advice that I would give to myself is to obviously, you know, be braver. And I heard someone say this earlier before we came on about the people in your life that maybe don't accept you. I would say that like not everybody in your life at that time, like they don't need to be there. Like if they're not going to support you or be there for you, like as you are, you know, like you just don't need that. And I think that was the thing, like I was a people pleaser. I was, you know, always trying to please everyone. And I think a lot of people, you know, can relate to that. Like you want to be liked, you want, you know, people to accept you. But I guess the reality is some people just won't. So yeah, to not be so upset about that, you know, losing people, even if they were close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. That really resonates a lot for what kind of my brother and my family is going through right now, because there is a really hard division between the support that my sibling is getting. He's, I think, really lucky to be at an age where all this, we've kind of like, I feel like our generation kind of went through some of the tougher times of being in high school and trying to identify, where he has the internet at his fingertips. He has friends that all support him, and their conversation is a lot like what I'm hearing on this couch, which just makes me so grateful that he has that kind of support and the information is just at his fingertips. I think the harder thing for us as a family is figuring out how to support him in the right way and how to manage, you know, the people who may be really close to him that don't support him. And as an older sibling, I mean, we grew up really close, so we've always been really close. And as soon as he even started to mention that this was kind of the way that he was going, and it's really unique to see a young mind like his kind of figure out how he wants to tell you, right? And from the start, it's, you know, listen, bro, I don't care if you want to call yourself a flying purple butterfly. I love you. Like, as long as you're a good human, that's all that, and you're safe, that's all that matters to me. But I really love the idea of just like, trying to help him understand he doesn't need to be afraid of the people who might not support him. Because there's unfortunately some people really close to him in his life that just don't and that's hard.
Unfortunately, that's pretty typical. I know a lot of the people who've come up here today have been just like, yeah, there's been one or two, or everyone that you know we've been on the outs with, or had arguments with, or continue to have arguments with. But it's nice that you're there to to support your brother, and because honestly, going through a transition period is such a wild experience, and having that very close-knit support group, even if it's just one or two, or like even if it's so small, just having that person to have right there and be like, look, I need somebody with me right now, is so important, and it means a lot, and it can actually it shows, and it shows everybody else out there that it's like, look, just because you may not identify as LGBTQIA+ or anything under that banner, it doesn't mean you can't be there for the people who do identify that way and are that way, because they need you. They're your friends, they're your family, they're your siblings, they're somebody who you don't know yet who might become your best friend. So having that, even if it's a support group of one, it's important to have.
Yeah, I think that's awesome that you're so supportive of him. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to belittle it, but really, I don't care if he is calling himself a three-eyed alien. Like you're my family, you're my blood, and even for people who aren't my family and my blood, I have the same feelings. Like, just be decent humans. I don't understand why the label has to be so difficult.
Yeah.
I think I would tell my younger self to just definitely find your group of people, because I think I told Kaden that like I was exposed to the LGBT stuff very early because I was an early internet user. And if you ever meet like furries or like the anime fandom, like there's so many people who identify as gay, lesbian, and at the time it was really only gay, lesbian, and bi, because this is when I was in middle school, like in the early 2000s. And I thought I was like either a lesbian or a transgender male because like I was just feeling nothing about anybody, and even though it makes no logical sense that, oh, you don't want to date anyone, you must want to date women. That's all I could think of. And all the people on the internet were horny, and everyone was a horny teenager. And honestly, like, I thought I was just ill in some way. And it wasn't until I had a sleepover with one friend who was a bit more chill, and she's like, well, maybe you're a gray ace. And I was like, what? And I looked it up, and I found this whole, like, AVEN, I think it's called, that whole network when it was still like just a forum. And then suddenly it all started clicking. I just didn't feel so broken anymore, because it's like I was trying to come up with all these explanations, like, oh, I must have a hormone deficiency, I must want to be a dude, I must want to blah, blah, blah. And I was just so depressed about it. And I just felt like everyone thought I was being over dramatic. And I would just want to, tell my younger self, like, it's okay. Like, not everyone needs to decide right now, and your answer might still be out there, especially for people who are questioning. Like, it can be confusing now, but you don't have to like dive headfirst into it and like wonder, why can't I fit into exactly what everyone else is? Yeah. I think that's
yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
In my case, I didn't really get to come out the way I wanted to. It's not so much I came out of the closet, it's more like I was pulled out, really, because I knew I was bisexual probably around like junior year in high school, but I never really told many people until I got to college, and even then it was just the one lesbian that I knew. That was it. And when it came time to go back home for Thanksgiving, spend time with the family, that one lesbian friend was my only point of contact with, like, school at the same time. It's like I didn't want to be with the family. I wanted to be talking to people who I thought you were my people, even though it was, again, just this one lesbian. And that was when I came out to her as, like, really just like, well, I'm bisexual, yada, yada, yada. My mom, completely upset that I was so engrossed in my phone like this the whole trip, confiscates it from me. And later when we're at the hotel, she's going through my messages and she's like, what does this mean, Gabriel? What does this mean? It's like, And that was not how I wanted to come out at all. I was not ready. I was incredibly frightened and afraid. And mainly if I could just go back in time, I would love to just talk to that Gabriel from that moment after that conversation with Mom. And just say, so like, she may not come around completely, but in the meantime, you can find your family. You can find people who will accept that and any changes that come along with that. And your mom will, and the rest of the family will just have to learn that if they still want you in their lives, they will have to accept this about you in one way or another. Like my mom's not completely there yet. Whenever we talk, she's still like, do you have a girlfriend? It's like, or a boyfriend, or just a partner. It's like, because she's still so focused, like, getting married to a right girl, having kids. But it's like, sometimes she'll catch herself, it's like, oh, maybe a boyfriend. It's like, and then I have to say, or maybe a partner, because again, like, I might go up for someone who's also non-binary, like me. And that's a whole new thing for her to get used to.
Yeah.
Like, it's still just a lot of growing pains, but as long as you find a family like everyone else in animation that I have, you're going to be okay. And hopefully the people who were your family growing up, they'll come around too.
How do you guys find community? Obviously, if you can't work at the Rooster Teeth animation, because clearly there's a lot of community there, which is great. But how do you guys have you found that you've found like your family outside of or in the queer community?
Twitter helped a lot.
Yeah, the internet's great.
Twitter is super gay. There's just we're everywhere.
True.
Like most viral content is made by queer people on Twitter. Like,
all of your favorite memes, they're gay.
They're all gay.
every single time someone says like X person step on me, that person's probably queer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get stepped on unless you're queer.
Yeah.
That's just the rules.
It's just that's the rules. We didn't write them, but we will enforce them. But anyone else?
I would say definitely the internet. It is so much easier now than it was way back when like, because now you have like big sprawling social medias, and it used to be pretty much like you joined like Gaia Online and then that was that, because you were either going to go to Gaia Online or 4chan, so you were stuck with something crap or something less crap. But now you have like Twitter and Tumblr and Reddit and all these communities that have like all these separate pockets. And I mean, this is kind of cheating, I guess, but like there's a lot of games I like that have a lot of queer themes to them. Like I really, really like Undertale, and like everyone is gay or something in Undertale, so that makes it really easy to find an accepting community. So yeah, internet.
Yeah, I was gonna say just looking for like LGBT events, you know, or in your area. I feel like that's where I've met some friends, and yeah, I guess also the internet's great, of course, but going out into the world too. I know that's scary, but yeah.
I mean, I feel like for me, I was incredibly lucky that I was basically handed a community. Like my aunt was a lesbian. My cousin came out like a few years ago. He's gay. So I'm like, already my family's like, here you go. We're all pretty gay here. And then like when I was in school, like college, art school, it was just like the people I gravitated towards and ended up like befriending. We were just like, every single one of us is queer in some way. It's like, wow. It was just incredibly lucky that like I was basically handed it, but I feel like also just being open and genuine with your friends can really help, because like my friends, like we learned about different things through each other, and so we were like, hey, actually, like for me specifically, I was like, my friend is ace. that sounds actually really great. Let me look that up. And I sort of found more information and community online. So I think just being open and genuine with your friends and like sticking around the ones who are actually going to support you, and then you support them. It's like a two-way street. It's like, you know, you just gotta find that special family and just support one another. Yeah.
Very jealous. No, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but I remember being like a teen and growing up in middle school and everything, and just kind of dying for representation and trying to find things that I could see myself in. And now I'm like getting those things now as like a 27-year-old woman, and just being like one day at a time that we mentioned. You know, there's so much media out there, and I'm so jealous of like the 15-year-olds who like know themselves and they're so proud and they're all bisexual and they're all beautiful. It's like, you know what I look like at 15? This is not fair. But how old is your brother?
He's 14.
14.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
I mean, to say at 14 that I truly, truly knew what I wanted and like knew who I was is just completely, it would have been a dream. But I just think now things have changed so much and we're progressing. Obviously, there's still so much room to grow, and I think things are only beginning to change, but I think things look good, and I'm excited for...
Things are getting better.
Things are getting better, and I'm excited for what like younger generations of people will be bringing to this kind of conversation.
It is really unique to see kind of all the things that you guys are referencing, like how to find your family. It feels like my brother's already... He doesn't even have to go online because, like you guys said, all these resources are at these kids' fingertips. So they're all just talking about these things. Sometimes I need them to give me a dictionary. It's like, I can't even keep up with all the things that you guys are talking about. So it's nice to know that even though maybe there are some tough people in his life, he's got this really safe community at school. He's into art. He wants to be an animator. Oddly enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
I sense a theme going on.
Yeah. You realize that cartoons are better than people, so.
Oh, if he could see this, he'd be so happy.
To be honest, I'll jump right in there. It's like, yeah, I watched this a lot of Sailor Moon. It's just like, I wish I could magically transform into, oh, wait.
Yeah. I will say, when I was in art school, I was like with my friends one time, and we were like, I was like, I think I only have like a couple straight friends. Like, I'm like, I feel like we're all, like, all of us are queer. Kind of like you were saying, like, yeah.
We're all a little bit gay here.
Oh. Yeah, honestly.
We're all queer down here.
The people that I consider like my main family here in Austin, I met at UT going to college, and it was funny because I basically was integrated into a group of friends that had known each other since 7th grade. And at the time it was like, oh yeah, like 2 of us are gay. And I was like, I think all of y'all are gay. One day it'll come out. And now 95% of them identify as queer in some way, which is just like, we're all along for the ride. Just hop on. We're all going to the same place.
I did have a slight downer comment just because I keep seeing the similar theme popping up in the chat.
Oh, sure.
And it's kind of like, a lot of people, I think especially teens, are probably going through a difficult time right now if they're realizing they're transgender or gay or asexual or whatever. And because oftentimes our family, they're old, they don't get it. I'm not trying to defend them, but maybe they never will. And I would say, like, it's hard now, but like you have your whole life ahead of you. And if these people that you have to spend time with, even if they're your parents or your grandparents, like, if they just won't accept you for who you are and they just won't stop the comments, won't stop saying you're a degenerate or whatever, you don't have to keep them forever. Like, if in the end you decide this relationship isn't moving forward anymore and you're a 27-year-old woman, you can just say, you know what, I have a job, I'm out of here. Like, I don't need to hear your insults anymore. And I guess because I'm also mentally ill to a certain degree too, so that's been hard, but like learning to let go in the end, I think would be beneficial for everyone, especially in the queer community. Just, you don't have to fight a battle you won't win. Just make sure to, live your best life as you possibly can.
No, I completely agree. You have to, it's like there's a level of like, hey, this is who I am. I'm here to help you understand that. And I want to help you understand that because then you'll, accept me and people like me and everyone who's around me. And I want you to be able to do that because I care about you and I want you in my life. But there has to be a firm moment where you're just like, okay, I have given you so much in this regard. I have given you leeway. I have given you the ability to learn at your own pace. And at some point, it has to be just like, okay, if you're not reciprocating at any point, then it's like, I'm sorry, for my own well-being, I am gonna have to say goodbye. And that sucks, and it's hard, and it will never be easy, but you will be better off for it down the line. And you may cry about it, you may get angry about it, you may still get frustrated to this day, even when it happens, but it's just one of those things that you're going to have to learn to draw that line. And if you've done your due diligence to be who you are and help people understand, because some people are slow learners and it's frustrating. It hurts to have to consistently reiterate these things over and over again. But some people are slow learners and some people will come around to it. But there are people who just will not. And for your benefit and for the benefit of everybody around you who you'll hold close as your new chosen family and all your friends, it's just not healthy to keep that in your life because you'll start to self-destruct.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like you're just not responsible for the happiness of people who discriminate against you.
Exactly.
Really, because the reason they're upset with you, I mean, the only way for you to do it is hide it, and for what? Just so this guy who hates you will like you a little bit. Like, in the end, it's up to you to decide whether or not you think this problem person will change, but just know that, like, it's an option. Like, you don't have to hold on no matter what. That there isn't, like, cowardice in saying, you know what, just no more. I need to watch out for myself. Maybe we'll meet down the line. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you all for being here.
Yeah. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh, I can be found on Twitter at Kaxbeokay. That's Kaxbeokay. Someone yelled at me because they thought it ended with OK and that's it. It's like, no, spell out the entire word.
Yeah.
I'm Sana Freeman. You can find me on Sana Freeman Art. I forgot to say I was a concept artist. My Twitter is mostly dogs, though, so if you like dogs, look at my Twitter.
Great content.
Yeah.
I'm Nicole Fisher. I am actually not on Twitter, but you can find me on Instagram, Nicole_Red_Renee, and Ollie is on there from time to time.
All right.
You can find me on Twitter at Vince Capilouti, it's my name.
Nice.
Or on Instagram at Vinstagrams.
Oh, no. Wow, lucky. That handle.
Yeah.
And I'm on Twitter as Dr. Nichols, because we had to have one weird handle. And yeah, that's pretty much the only place I'm active, let's be real.
All right.
But, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much. You can hang out here. We've got a nice word from Patrick, who's walking over here.
From me?
Very slowly.
Been listening to all the conversation. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. I'm Patrick. I'm the head of broadcast and probably the oldest queer in the company.
Hey.
How old are you?
But-
I have to know.
Actually, I turned 49 on Friday.
Okay.
Yes.
Happy
early birthday.
5 days after your birthday.
I wish it was 69.
Not yet.
20 more years.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to invite everybody who's coming out to RTX to attend the Rainbow Panel that's on Friday. As most of you or all of you should know, this year we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. And for those of you who don't know what Stonewall is, that is probably the most historical moment in our history, in our community, because that's the moment when we said, we've had enough. And things changed. And you know, it's great to hear everybody talk about their stories and everything. And for the past 3-4 years that we've been doing the Rainbow Panel, you know, we've heard some incredible stories from people in our audience and from on our panel. And so this year, what we really want to do is really talk about the great stuff. You know, yes, coming out is hard. Yes, dealing with your family is difficult. Yes, dealing with society is difficult. But you know what? Fuck it. That is what it is. Let's talk about what's great, because that's what Stonewall did for us. Stonewall gave us the ability to say, like, we matter, you know, and we're tired of being held down. Nicholas, actually, can you bring out some boxes real quick? Everybody grab a box.
Oh, pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, I just want to demonstrate something a little bit.
I got a box.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
So for those of you who
Okay.
get a box,
Do you want to share?
so I want you to hold it above your head.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, holding it. I got it.
And as soon as you're tired of holding it, bring it down.
I can do it all day.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
So this is the stuff that happens to us every day. These are the things that we deal with every day, right? People coming down on us, people saying things to us, people talking about us, people making us come out when we're not ready, right? And after a while, this gets tiring, right? And you feel pretty silly. And it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I just holding all of this above my head and making this more difficult for myself? Try doing this and living your life and going to school and working and building relationships. How are you going to do this when you're doing this at the same time? So you bring it down. Now, and this is pizza, right? You're going to eat it. You're going to make it into fuel, and you're going to throw the box away and get rid of the weight, the trash. And that's really what this is about. You've got to use when things happen to you, you've got to use that and say, like, you know what? I'm not going to let this bring me down. I'm not going to let this become something that I hold above my head and I have to carry with me. I'm going to put it inside of me, and I'm going to use it as fuel and let it burn. Because I think one of the things that's so great about all of us who are here, who have been here today and who are in this company, we didn't let those things get to us. We turned it into something positive. We turned it into this. We turned it into pushing us into our careers, into our relationships, into our lives. And that's what we need to celebrate. And that's what we need to remember. And for all of you who are watching, you know, it's really important that while it's really easy to get into, like, this is what I'm going through, yes, and we're here for you. But just remember that you have the choice to either, like, let that drag you down and make you feel bad about yourself, or just say one day, I've had enough. I'm done with it. And let that just push you somewhere and get you somewhere. And I'm telling you, your life will just change. And that's what we're talking about at the panel this year. So if you can make it, be ready to share with us some great things that have happened with you in your life, because that's what we want to hear. And, you know, why don't we do that right now? What are some great things that have happened to you because you're gay or because you're part of this community?
Honestly, everything. Well, you want me to tell you what really matters? This was a passion project for me. This year's Pride stream was something that I wanted to make happen. And the fact that I was actually able to make it happen, all the stories that were shared on this, everybody actually being here, Muriel for hosting with me, thank you so much. The broadcast team for pulling everything together and making this as great as it was. This is an incredible highlight to me. It's something that I never thought I'd be able to do in a million years. And by taking that brave step forward, I was able to kind of like bulldoze my way through everything. And here I sit, surrounded by like-minded individuals who are happy with who they are and sharing their stories with everyone out there. This is one of the most meaningful moments of my entire life right here, right now.
That's awesome. That's great. Gabriel?
For me, coming out as being bisexual and non-binary, I got to see exactly how sweet my cis and straight friends are. One of my roommates, he actually, whenever he stumbles on my pronouns, he goes, and Gabriel, they, god damn it. It's like that he's trying so hard to make sure that, he's using the correct pronouns for me, and not just him, also several other people. It's really uplifting to see that they've been with me the whole time, like that I had no reason to be afraid of ever having to come out over and over again, because coming out is a constant process.
That's awesome.
Oh, mine's like way more selfish. So it's like, I mentioned earlier that I do have like mental problems, and so I have a lot to deal with in my own brain. But, you know, if I'm asexual, I don't have to deal with a boyfriend or girlfriend.
You save a lot of money, too.
Yeah, I have no desire to get married. I don't have to worry about STDs. And I know that sounds like dumb, but I was thinking like, I kind of like it. Like it simplifies my life to a point that I'm happy with it, and you know, I can just hang out with me and my buds and don't gotta worry about like, oh no, did I clean the toilet to make Jimmy happy? Like, I'm happy being me.
Nicole?
So, like I mentioned, my brother's been through a struggle with my family and finding support with them. And he recently transitioned from a private Catholic school into public school, and just seeing how uplifting that's been for him to be in a more accepting community. He was actually selected to have his art put on display in an art contest, and he's in a younger grade where a lot of the people that were in the contest were older. So just getting to go with him through that journey and just be that support for him. And when my family recently moved, I was able to go home and help him get that specific piece up on a wall and just get to see like the pride in his face when he knows like, this is a direct result of me being more happy with me. And as an older sibling, like there's nothing you want more than seeing like your siblings just thrive and to be able to introduce him to the Rooster Teeth community too. Yeah, awesome. It's really great.
Vince?
Wow. Mine actually kind of goes along with that too. Like the best part I would say is like the art and the things that I get to express now, and not being so afraid of hiding that. I got to make like a super gay short film. I feel so much more comfortable with the things that I create and put out there, because I feel like there's nothing, I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do because I feel like I'm like hiding a part of myself or something. I think that for me, being an artist, and I think other artists out there can relate to that, is just like being free and putting out the things that you want to put out and not being afraid to do that. So, yeah.
Well, for me, it's sort of like a generational support thing. So the first wedding I ever went to was my aunt's gay wedding.
Nice. Wow.
And I'm like, this sets me up for the best life. Am I right? And so that's sort of when I came out, and I was out with my friends, and I was very vocal, and I was very like, hey, I'm ace, and it's great. And I was very educated on all of it. I had a friend who was unsure and like didn't really know, and so I could be that support system for them, because hey, they didn't know. It was time to pass it on, it was paid forward for me, so now I'm paying it forward for them. So it's like it was just like a really great moment to just be like, I can help you with this, like you don't have to be afraid. So yeah, those are a couple of best moments.
And Miss Mariel?
Mine's just kind of I was thinking about this while everyone was talking. I have my college roommate, who was one of the first people that I really got to like experience being out with, and like having a good friend who was also gay and whatnot. She recently like moved, or she's living in Austin for the summer, doing an internship. And just being like around that person and around that energy has made me feel so youthful again. Because I felt like, you know, like I think once I mean, my life currently, I have friends from all over everything. Like I have straight friends, I have gay friends, I have everything. But when you kind of reconnect with the person who was there from like the very beginning, it kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's rejuvenated me in a certain way, and I like, we're making jokes again, and we're kind of reverting back to our younger, a little bit more dangerous selves that we, will take caution with, because we are much older, sophisticated women now. But there's just been something very nice about having that person back in my life so closely again, and just kind of going through that and feeling those feelings of being like, oh man, like I remember you're bringing it back what it was like to be a baby gay, and it feels great.
Yeah, I would say for me, it actually happened this morning when I drove up to the parking lot. There was a pride flag flying outside of Bungalow A, and I never thought I would be dumbstruck the way I was. It was just a moment that I never expected. I've always been accepted wherever I've worked. I've been lucky. But to see that kind of acceptance on display was incredible. And I like to think that a lot of it started with just holding people accountable for the things they were saying and the things they were doing. The company was a little different when I first came in. And I think my presence and other people's presence kind of made them say like, oh, this is a new way of doing things. We need to be more mindful. And I think whenever you have the ability to do that without being too political about it, then I think that's a win-win for everybody. And it makes you a better person. It makes the company you work with a better place. And I'm very proud of what this company has become, because the fact that we have the ability to do this and sit here for a couple of hours and talk about this and talk with our great community about this is just awesome. And I love that that's been a part of my life. I can't say how much that means to me, and I know it means to a lot of us. So hopefully you can make it to the Rainbow Panel, because we're going to do more of this. And just remember to celebrate your life, because that's what Stonewall was all about. The theme for this year is your voice, your life. You can't have your life if you don't have your voice. And so we're going to show you how to have your voice, no matter what situation you're in.
Cool. All right.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So before we go, I would like to address the chat directly, and literally everybody out there watching. Thank you for coming to join us. I'd like to shout out to Out Youth one more time. If you can, please go contribute to them. There's links in the description. They're a wonderful group. They provide a safe place for LGBTQIA+ youth, and I encourage you to go out and find local groups for yourself as well, in case you need them, or just to donate your time, just to get out there and find your own community in person as well as online. And thank you to everybody who's been here all night. This is amazing for me, and I hope that you've enjoyed yourselves, and just sharing a bit of everybody's story has really just been incredibly meaningful. And again, thanks to all the broadcast team for pulling all this together as quickly as they did. You guys were amazing. But to everybody who's out there watching, we've talked about this throughout the evening, and I want you to know that, first of all, you're never done questioning yourself. Second of all, you're not broken. And finally, I love you, and it's okay, because sometimes you just need to hear it. So thank you again, everybody, for coming out, and I appreciate it so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Oh my gosh.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Ooh. Yes, that.
Look at that.
Go.
You're right.
I think I express myself through my humor. One of the things that I love about the LGBTQ community is that we have a wicked sense of humor. We have our own way of talking to each other. And when you meet someone, you instantly feel comfortable because you can talk to them the way you can't talk to anybody else.
I'm a professional singer, so I tour, and the music that I write is always both gender inclusive because I date both genders.
I express myself through art, and through basically whether it be drawing, makeup, anything, working on tattooing brows. I mean, anything creative, basically.
I'm a 3D modeler, and As a kid, I used to daydream a lot, you know, a lot of escapism to kind of imagine a better situation for myself because it wasn't really the best. And I kind of channeled that into what I do now for a living.
I really kind of found my sexuality in wanting to draw beautiful women. When I was younger, I didn't really understand what that actually meant.
Now when I do write stories or I create new characters, or you know, I get the opportunity to have some influence over who or what is present in an art piece. You know, I really do want more representation for LGBTQ.
I like bringing people together for big meals and really kind of reinforcing that sense of community between people. Big holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, if you know where to go, it's my place you're coming to.
I would definitely say I'm a loud and boisterous person, and I would say that I'm definitely not the most subtle, and I kind of like for my clothing, my artwork, my everything to match who I feel like I am inside.
Well, I'm a lesbian and we like to stay home and we don't leave our homes, so that's how I express myself.